This is the meeting of the Board of Directors for the Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District for Thursday, July 13, 2017 we'll start with the meeting with a pledge to the flag. Director Jones, would you lead us, please?
My pleasure. All rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Director. We'll start the meeting off with a Metro Cable announcement. The open session meetings are videotaped for cablecast on Metro Cable 14. Replay on Saturday, July 15, 2017 at 12 noon, and Sunday, July 16, 2017 at 9 a.m. on Channel 14. The webcast is at www.sacmetrocable.tv. The open session meetings are also available for viewing on the district's website at www.metrofire.ca.gov. Now is the public opportunity to discuss matters of interest within the jurisdiction of the district, whether or not on the agenda. Do we have any speakers?
There are no speakers this evening.
Geez, thank you. We're going to move on to consent calendar, but before we do, regarding the consent agenda, staff has requested that item 3B, the workplace violence policy, be removed and referred back to the policy committee for a minor content edit. So the vote on the consent item will not include item 3B, but everything else will remain as it is in the current agenda. Do I have a vote on the consent?
Mr. Chair, I so move.
Thank you. Motion.
Second.
Thank you. We have a first and a second. Now can we get the vote, please?
Director Gale.
I didn't get review of the board policies. Were they in the package?
They were in the packet, Director.
And those are one from 2009, is that correct?
They've been updated, as are stated in your packet.
I'm going to vote no on that.
All right, and Director Gould.
Aye.
Barnes.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Sheets.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
And Wood.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, we're going to go out of order, and we will recess right now to close session. And for those who don't need to be here when we get back, hopefully you have a wonderful day and enjoy your rest of your July. Thanks. Let's get back underway. Council, would you report out of closed session for us, please?
Yes, thank you. The board met in a closed session to consider the items set forth on the closed session agenda. First, with respect to the workers' compensation claim of Peter Danielski, the board by majority vote approved giving authority to its third-party administrator to effectuate a settlement of that workers' compensation claim. The next claim was a workers' compensation claim of Christopher Marsh. By a majority vote, the board voted to provide authority to its third-party administrator to effectuate a settlement of that workers' compensation claim. On item number 2, the board met concerning the industrial disability claim of Michael Teague. The board took no objection. The board took no action on that item that will be voted upon in open session. The board also met on the industrial disability retirement claim of Kevin Thompson. The board took no action. That matter will be decided upon in open session. The board, next on item number 3, the board met to consider the Government Code Section 910 claim of Solomon Ng, and the board, by majority vote, decided to take no action on that claim. Finally, the board met to consider the Government Code Section 910 claim of Francine Lyon through Mercury Insurance Company, and by majority vote denied that claim with instructions to its third-party, not its third-party administrator, its insurance administrator to further handle that claim. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Council. Moving on to the action items. We'll start with action item number 1, Jeff Fry. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Directors, Chief Harms. I just want to take a couple of minutes this evening and talk about staff recommendation requesting the board declare a piece of property adjacent to 108 as surplus property. A little background: in the mid-60s, 1965, then Carmichael Fire District entered into an agreement with Carmichael Water District for a 50-year lease and a 25-year extension for $1 a year for the water district to build a water tank, which approximately holds about 1 million gallons of water. Fast forward essentially 50 years, the water district expressed an interest in exercising that extension, that 25-year extension. At the time, we were interested in maybe updating some of the language in the lease agreement to reflect current standards, and looking at what it costs us to administrate the lease. So what we had done is ask council for an opinion, requesting to understand whether or not the lease was truly an extension or a renewal. And the difference there is a renewal would have given us the opportunity to renegotiate some of those lease points. It was in fact opined that it was an extension, and what that essentially means to the fire district is there is no opportunity to renegotiate some of these terms, that we could accept essentially the payment and move forward with the additional 25-year term. Once we had clarified that with council, I did ask the water district if, given we had recognized the lease extension, but would they potentially be interested in purchasing this site from us and just getting away from that landlord-tenant relationship. They did express interest, so we asked that we put a hold on those conversations till we had a chance to talk to the board. Just a couple of notes here. I would say I would not recommend an appraisal. In this case, I would say the value of the land is nominal simply because the property is encumbered by a 23-year lease, effectively, and the water tank that's constructed on the property is owned by the water district. So I think the cost of appraisal is not warranted. I would like to note that there's no operational need looking forward past the lease extension. We don't see an operational need from a fire district perspective to have a use for that property. And I would also like to note that it is in fact a separate parcel from 108. So an answer of the transfer title would be fairly simple, and it would not affect operations at 108 whatsoever. So with that information, I would certainly be willing to answer any questions you may have.
Outstanding. Any questions for Mr. Fry?
Mr. Chair, I make a recommendation we adopt.
A motion, we adopt the recommendation?
Second.
All right, I've got a motion and a second. Can we get the vote, please?
Dr. Gale,
Yes.
Gould,
Aye.
Barnes,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Sheets,
Aye.
Kelly,
Aye.
and Wood.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Moving on to action item number 2. This is Ms. Pania and Director Jones.
Good evening, directors. Before you this evening, Sacramento Local Agency Formation Commission has contacted us. They are looking for nominations for the office number 7, as well as the alternate for offices number 6 and 7. So nominations must be submitted in writing no later than September 15th. And to be a valid nomination, it must be made by a majority of the governing board of the special district during an official meeting. So before I turn this over to Director Jones, who is currently the commissioner for office number 7, I just want to thank her for her service in that position. And on behalf of Metro Fire and special districts, I think you've done a wonderful job and would continue to do so if you so wish to continue your service. So, Director Jones.
Well, thank you very much, Madam Clerk. That's very generous. And yes, tonight I would like to ask the support of my board to nominate me to continue Special District Seat Number 7 on Sacramento County LAFCO. It's been, it's sometimes very drudgerous, but it's very, very worthwhile. I sit as chair for the Special District Advisory Committee, which encompasses over a dozen special districts on a rotating basis within our county to make sure that we're all on the same page and share concerns and issues. I'm also working, I serve as vice chair for CalAFCO, the state association, and with continued support from this board, it's very likely that, well, I'm in line to be the chair for the state association next year. It is a rotational build-up, and just as with LAFCO, where you put in time as alternate, and then you perhaps can become commissioner when an opening occurs. I've put time in, it's solid work, and I think it does benefit the community, special districts, as well as Metro Fire. So I would appreciate the support of this board to nominate me.
Thank you very much, Director. Can I get a nomination?
Mr. Chair, I make the nomination of Director Gay Jones to serve in the role of Commissioner for Office Number 7.
On three. 1, 2, 3. I second that. I was giving everybody else a chance. I second that. Motion.
Well, I've got a motion, I've got a second. Can we get the vote, please?
I have a question.
I'm sorry, Director.
Have you ever attended a LAFCO meeting, Mr. President, or anybody else? I served on LAFCO, and it was a noble idea at one time, but I think it has had its day, because especially in Sacramento County, the Board of Supervisors is also on there. To me, it seemed to be a conflict of interest, and I never got it settled. But if anybody wants to participate in it, it's fine with me. But I wouldn't waste my time on it.
Well, I appreciate your concerns, Director.
Yeah, you know.
LAFCO serves as a de facto boundary commission over not only special districts, but cities. And yes, you are correct, there are 2 county supervisors, 2 city representatives, one of them rotating through the cities in the county, with the city of Sacramento being a permanent seat. Then we have 2 special districts seats represented, as well as a public member. And it is a state law, Cortese Knox, and that is what empowers this commission to approve a number of things, whether it's annexations, consolidations, dissolutions, approve municipal service reviews to make sure that special districts are doing what they're intended to do. Part of my work has been, for example, this last couple months with the Little Hoover Commission, raising some of the concerns that you have just raised. We've worked closely with CSDA in formulating constructive, moving forward types of improvements for all LAFCOs, and I feel very confident that that will be accomplished.
Thank you very much, Director.
Mr. President, just a comment on the board. She has done a noble job in doing that, and that's the kind of people you need on it, and for the purpose of it in the first place. But we must, well, I have to keep our toes in the water, so I would support.
Thank you. Thank you, Director.
Of course.
We've got a motion and a second. Can we get the vote, please?
Director Gale,
Yes.
Gould,
Aye.
Barnes,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Sheets,
Aye.
Kelly,
Aye.
and Wood.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate the support.
Congratulations.
Well, again, this is just the
Condolences.
nomination, and in a few months, we'll be going through the election process. So it's a mail ballot, and we'll have that before us again. Thank you.
So we have nominations for special district representative, representation on the alternates for offices number 6 and 7. I don't know why I can't speak today. I apologize. But this is an optional vote. Ms. Pania, would you elaborate?
I would just elaborate that it is an option of this board of directors if they would so choose to nominate someone. However, it is not a requirement.
Do I have any comments or questions for Ms. Pania from the directors on this? Is there any motion for either seats 6 or 7 alternate spots? All right, let's move on to action item number 3 then. We've already discussed this in closed session. Do we just go into a vote?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we adopt the recommendation to find Captain Michael Teague has suffered a job-related injury and as such is industrially disabled.
Thank you very much. Can I get a second?
Second.
We got a second from Director Sheets. Can we get a vote, please?
Director Gale,
Yes.
Gould,
Aye.
Barnes.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Sheets.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
And Wood.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Move on to item number 4, the industrial disability retirement of Kevin Thompson. Can I get a motion on this one?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the resolution finding Captain Kevin Thompson has suffered a job-related injury and direct staff to work with Captain Thompson through the industrial disability retirement process with CalPERS.
Thank you very much, Director. Can we get a second?
Second.
I have a second from Director Sheets.
Good.
Can we get the call of the vote, please?
Director Gale,
Staff recommendation, yes.
Gould,
Aye.
Barnes.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Sheets.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
And Wood.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Moving on to reports, President's report. I will just say that I think it's very important that we as electeds support our members. They work hard every day for us and for the community, and they also engage in a number of community activities, one of which was recently the Tropical Affair, which was a fundraiser for the Burn Institute. I think it's very important that we, not just the electeds, but everyone else in this organization, support our members in their community service. And on that line, I was very proud that we had 6 of the 9 of us at Tropical Affair, as well as a number of other familiar faces. So it was a great event, a lot of fun, and hopefully we can improve on those 6 and get closer to 9 next year. So thank you. Chief?
Good evening, directors. Just a few things. In the past 2 weeks, we've had 4 captains that have retired. Captain Michael Teague, Captain Randy Gross and Michael Teague had 23 years on, Randy Gross with 27 years on, Captain Steve Cormier with 26 years, and Captain Matt McGrew with 27 years. We're in the process of putting together a captain's list right now, and we have a number of openings that will be filled by those folks. Just a few meetings and events that I attended. The new Consumnes Fire Chief was sworn in on the 28th of June. His name is Michael McLaughlin, and we've had a long relationship with Mike and a close relationship down there. And actually this past week had a meeting in my office with everybody, and a very positive step for them in moving forward. During their actual ceremony, I think they had 9 different promotions that happened of people leaving in the organization and moving up. So for their organization, a lot of change happening down there. We met with PG&E. They are doing a kind of a safety tour around the area, talking about gas lines and the interactions, and have offered up a number of free training for our members, and have also asked us to be involved with the PSA about calling 811 before digging, and we'll be involved with them. Yesterday, we had the opportunity to sit down with Citrus Heights on our 2x2 meetings. We talked about a number of items: community service, response stats, fire prevention, talked about some hazmat contracts. Very positive meeting, very good communication. I think the positive thing is just that there's been so much change and just new faces at the table. And what we've agreed to do, along with Rancho Cordova, is just to schedule those and have those on the schedule that are every 6 months. And if there's nothing, it's easy to be able to cancel them, but to have them there and people can work around their schedule is very, very positive. Went out yesterday to fire camp at Station 21, to the tower behind there. As you said, as our membership, I think about 80 or 90 kids out there running around, having just a great 4 days. But the membership and the members that are out there being camp counselors. And the kids, I don't think, cared that it was warm out there. They were running around and everybody was wet. A number of the counselors looked like they were a little bit tired and needed some water. But they're doing a great job, and we'll talk more about the program and Brenda and the work that goes into that. But it was great seeing them out there running around then. And at this time, I'm going to stop and turn it over to Chief Bridge and talk just about the fire activity. And being here and being the new chief, and this is my first fire season as far as the wildland side, It makes me very proud to watch the members and the commitment that they have done. He has a number of things that they were able to do, and just the workload that took off at about the middle of June, and the amount of hours that they're working, the mandatories that they're working. Not only are we covering the rest of the state, but making sure that our stations here at home are covered every single day. Chief Bridge.
All right. Good evening, directors. Eric Bridge, Operations Chief. Yeah, it's been a stretch of fires throughout the state. Probably the last 7 to 10 days, and we've been very instrumental in supporting a lot of the operations, which are critical especially for the community members of those areas. Keep in mind that we always want to make sure our area is protected as well, and I assure you that it has been, and thanks to the members of Metro Fire. We've been stretching them thin, but they've stepped up. They know that every summer in California, that's part of their duty and their responsibilities, and they've stepped up to do that. So my thanks to them and all the members. Captain Bailey, I'm sure you'll echo those sentiments to everybody. Relief's in sight, so I always remind them because fall comes every year. But just for an example, we had approximately 36 of our members out of the area. 26 of them were assigned to engine companies. We had 7 engine companies stretched throughout most of Northern California, and a few of them down in the San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara County area. But 2 of them that we just have a good relationship with, the Amador El Dorado unit, that they called me, the administrative office chief over there says, hey, we're strapped thin, and we don't have any units in our area, so can you send us a couple? And we said, sure, absolutely, we can do that, because I knew we'd be able to backfill those, and they needed that. And fortunately, an hour later, a fire hits up in the Salmon Falls area, and it's making a run up the hill right into Cool, and Engine 322 did a fantastic job in making an impact on stopping the forward progress of that fire. So it's those kind of things that makes you proud to be a part of that. So currently, all of our engines are back. So that's good. As of just a couple hours ago, over the last couple days, they've been out and working hard, and then we received our last engine back in our district. So we're fully staffed that way. We have 8 members out on overhead assignments, where they work in a single role capacity, where they're a paramedic or a planned section chief, that type of nature. So, and they're assigned all over, everywhere from the wall fire up there in the near the Yuba City, the Bangor, I believe they call it, up in that area. And then we've have them all the way down to Whittier, the Whittier fire, which is in Santa Barbara County, San Luis Obispo border in that area. So that's just kind of a snapshot in what our units have been doing so far. So right now, fortunately, we're catching a little breather, but it's only the middle of July, so I just anticipate action to pick up again. It always seems to do that. Again, in terms of our regular assignments around here, we were busy during the 4th, and we had our boat staffed on the American River, working with the park rangers, made plenty of contacts with plenty of people having lots of fun on the water. So some opportunities to educate the public on our water rescue capabilities as well, and to pass out some life-saving jackets and tips about how to stay safe on the water. So that was a good day on the river. We also were busy with fires, of course, around our own area. The engine company from the B7, many of the engine companies over there made a great stop at an apartment fire, heavy fire on the 1st floor that was lapping up into the 2nd floor, extending quickly. But crews, just more of the common modern fire behavior theory and the tactics that go along with that. The folks are doing a great job of that training, and as soon as they got off the engine, they were knocking the fire down, and I think that saved quite a bit of potential damage for upstairs units. Same thing happened in 51's area last week on a fire that was extending into the fences, into the juniper trees, which basically looks like Roman candles going up between the homes. They have wood shake roofs going on both sides, so a lot of potential for losing 2-story homes in that area, but again, quick actions by the crews in the B9 area, Battalion 9 and 51's area. Fantastic save on both of those. Lots of potential for home loss there, but fantastic job. EMS-wise, another over 4,000 calls again. It's that typical number, and we're still maintaining about 70% transport rate and AMR continues to be a great partner for us as well. So unless you have any other questions, that's kind of a summary of our operations over the last 2 weeks.
Thank you so much, Chief. Do we have any questions for Chief Quinn? Chief Bridge, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll go by that, thanks.
My apologies.
The same barber, though.
Yeah.
Or lack of barber.
All right, moving on to Local 522, please.
Evening, Board of Directors. As you can see, I still have a little hair left.
Oh,
I had more 6 years ago. Well, good evening. It's been a while since I've been able to make it due to vacations and children and life, but I know we've had other people here, but I do appreciate being able to come up here and speak in front of you and give you an update. We had our labor management meeting 2 weeks ago. Things are moving forward, doing very well. The relationship with labor and management right now is the best it's been since I've been the vice president of this union, so I do appreciate that. We've had 2 shop stewards that stepped down, and we had 2 more that stepped up, and we had an election. Mark DeSordo is the new A-shift shop steward, and Janae Callison, how do you say that? Callison, for CRRD is a new shop steward. I want to thank Krishana Fields and Jim Mendez for their contribution to our members and to this fire district. Obviously, we've had a lot of mandatories the last several days. It's not only fire season, but we're right in the middle of a testing process. I appreciate everyone stepping up and taking those phone calls. Staffing is doing a terrific job, and I know it's a lot of stress and a lot of work for Station 114 to do that, but we do appreciate it. So I want to thank them for all the hard work that they've done. We're still working on the cleanup language of the MOUs from May of 2016. We're almost completed with the cleanup language, also with the addition of the side letters that we've had since 2007 when this contract was originally voted on and then extended twice. And then the last thing, we do have a meet and confer tomorrow. Part of our negotiations was to update our sick leave policy so that it's in line with changes in all of the laws that have changed over the last several years to make sure we're in compliance, both labor and management. On Tuesday, President Rice and Local 522, we're at the Capitol. I wasn't there. They were at the Capitol speaking on behalf of the IFF and the members of the state of California on Assembly Bill 1120, which is to reduce the amount of butane that people can purchase, which obviously we know has been causing fires throughout the state, and it's very dangerous for the men and women that are online. So we're looking to reduce the amount of butane that an individual can purchase. So, and that's all I have for my update. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Thanks so much, Captain. Do we have any questions for Mr. Bailey? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right, moving on to committee and delegate reports. There's no report from the executive committee. Moving on to the Comm Center JPA. Chief Johnson's not here. All right. Sure.
For Chief Johnson, I know they met yesterday, a special board meeting to talk about Dr. Mackey's contract, which was approved, and the next board meeting is Tuesday, June 27th at 0900, and location to be determined.
Thank you very much. It should be July 27, Chief?
Correct, I'm just reading right off the July 27th. Yeah, June would be a little late.
Thank you, Chief Bridge. Moving on to the California Fire and Rescue Training, JPA, Director Kelly.
Yes, the JPA, reported on the JPA last meeting, and we will meet again on September 21.
Thank you very much. Director Kelly, the Finance and Audit Committee.
Finance and Audit Committee is meeting Thursday, next time we have a full board meeting on the 27th.
Thank you very much.
Times to be determined if anybody else on the committee has any idea of what time they want to start.
All right, Director Gould, Policy Committee.
no report.
Thank you very much. Moving on to board member questions and comments. Start on the far left with Director Kelly.
Yes. I wanted to thank the guys at Station 106, Battalion 7, Battalion Chief Webster, Aaron Webster. Thank him. It was A shift. Had a nice 4th of July, riding around with the guys at 106.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Director Sheets?
I just wanted to commend the staff, and I'm so thankful that they're back home safe. And I'm excited about the fire camp. 2 of my daughters got to do it last year, and our youngest is really excited that next year she'll be old enough to do it. So I'm excited for her.
Excellent. Director Gale?
I attend the conference at Napa, and I did graduate Phi Beta Kappa. And I want to thank the fire people who are always doing an extremely great job under very stressful conditions, daily.
Outstanding. Thank you, Director. Director Gold?
No comment?
Director Jones?
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank, again, the board for supporting my position, continuing my position on Sacramento County LAFCO. Thank you very much. I was able to attend several events over the last couple weeks. Our promotional ceremony was excellent, well done, a lot of style, a lot of class, and I'm very appreciative of having that marker, because when one gets promoted, it's a big deal and it needs to be recognized. So thank you for continuing that. Again, the Tropical Affair, well attended by Metro Fire. I appreciate that. Also, Director Wood, Chief Johnson, and myself attended the Rancho Cordova Chamber sponsored reception for local electeds. An excellent opportunity to network, come up with some new ideas, and see about coordination for a lot of different community activities. A very good event. And I'd like to say thank you to Chief Tom Neville and Captain Brian Bartel for assisting with the Epi's Great Race. That's going to be this Saturday. And I know as a member of the committee, I want to say thank you to them for being there to offer assistance and talk about issues and safety on the river for that particular event.
Thank you very much, Director. Director Barnes?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to commend the people that actually left our area to help the other areas. It's really neat to be the region leader where people call for help and we respond. That says the top quality work that we go. We don't say no because we know our partners need help, and we know they would do the same if we needed that help. So thank you for all the leaders that made that happen, but also thank you to the personnel that went up there, and I echo, glad that they were home safe. An event I'd like to put on everybody's calendar is Tuesday, August 1st, National Night Out. I know Metro Fire is really big on that, getting into the communities and the different neighborhoods along with other public safety entities. I would encourage the board members to get out into the communities and the areas that you serve and get out there and meet your constituents even more, but also watch Metro Fire personnel. The families and the kids love the apparatuses that are out there to climb around. So I appreciate the participation for Metro Fire being at that. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Director. Just have a couple of things. Chief, you mentioned the fire camp volunteers. Our staff, the volunteer counselors, or it's not volunteers, you mentioned the counselors. They're all volunteers. They're not getting paid while they're at fire camp. So those guys are there 9 hours a day working with these kids. And it's a wonderful thing to see, and the kids do get a great joy out of it. So I'm looking forward to hearing Brenda's report when she comes back. I had the benefit, I guess you could call it, on June 25th of looking over my back fence and finding the field to the west of my house on fire. And I want to say thank you to everybody personally and on behalf of the members of my community for the work that I believe there were 7 engines that responded, the 30 men and women that were out there putting that fire out, the 50-some acres over here off Douglas in Rancho Cordova, and for Tom Neville taking the time and talk to me about it and work through it. I also was tickled, I guess is the only way I could say it. It's just really exciting to see that dozer in work and the effect that thing can have in stopping the forward progress of the fire. It was quite exciting to see. And I also want to publicly thank Ryan Taylor with the City of Rancho Cordova and their Community Service Department division for the work they're doing going after all the properties that need weed abatement. They're taking a pretty aggressive stance, and I appreciate all the work that they're doing. So thank you. All right. We are recessed until
someday.
July 27, 6 PM. We'll see you all then. Thank you.